So the Texas workforce is refusing to do a good cause. They told me to. They said call and get it because they didn't. That's not what they told me. If I'm fleeing a domestic violence crisis, why would I be excluded from help like everyone else?
Oh, okay.
What she meant was that she can't enter a good cause because there's no case.
No. Oh, okay. No case.
Yes. There was no good cause that she can enter when the case was closed and denied.
Okay.
Before I even got there. So the Texas workforce said that there was something going on if you're staying at a shelter and getting benefits.
Yes, ma'am.
So no one has ever communicated that with me because everyone around me at shelters were getting benefits but me. So what happens if you're staying at a shelter?
If they're providing food, we can't provide food for you. And like if they're providing your meals 3 times a day.
The women at the shelter, they're temporary. They said that there's some kind of benefits that I can get if I'm staying at a shelter and fleeing abuse as a Texas workforce.
Yes.
Because everyone around me is getting
benefits.
Yes.
Okay.
And they have been for several years. I've told them that something is amiss because like almost $1,000 came up missing. Health and Human Services wouldn't let me report it, or the police department. I'm fleeing a serious domestic abuse crisis that has involved government corruption.
Oh.
So for years, fleeing this abuse, I've been robbed of my ability to get food stamps and scams. So I wasn't getting my mail and the communication, and I wasn't getting things mailed out from the Texas workforce. So I call in, the Texas workforce would have one story, and then Health and Human Services would have another story trapping me. And another time I had a job and met the requirements, I reported it to Health and Human Services, and they would not update my case, keeping me from food stamps again. So I was just trapped in it. It was like it was inside corruption. And a red flag that it was inside corruption is the police department came and removed me from trying to report that something was mysterious going on with my benefits. And I think that people were doing things that they shouldn't inside Health and Human Services.
Hello. Hi, how you doing?
Look at my message. Look at my message in Teams. Y'all should always be green.
So I think that's pretty odd for police to come and try to give someone a criminal trespass for trying to see what was going on with their benefits. So what do I do about that misconduct?
I would call 211 to report fraud.
I did, and I just repeatedly keep getting ignored. That was several years ago.
See, just saying that they do give you meals over there at that organization. At the Women's Crisis Center?
Everyone there's getting food stamps but me.
How often do they give you
I'm in a
meals?
battered woman shelter.
How often do they give you meals?
They
over
don't
there?
provide meals. There's
don't?
food there, but they don't provide meals.
So they don't give you food over there?
They have food, but they don't provide meals, and there's always been catch-22s to keep me from food stamps. I was told that there's some kind of, if you're at a shelter, that you qualify for food stamps, and if you're fleeing abuse.
Are they working though?
I'm sorry?
Are they working?
No.
They're not working?
No. But like I've been communicated, I don't know why so many people would try to keep me from food stamps that everybody else did.
Do they have kids?
No, not all of them. Everyone there is getting food stamps but me, and this is repeatedly happening in multiple different environments. And I'm not quite certain why you're not disturbed that people have falsified information and files and been dishonest with me, keeping me from food stamps, and why police came to interrupt accountability from staff misconduct at Health and Human Services.
I don't know, that's above my pay grade.
Well, the thing of it is that, it's multiple different stories keeping me from these food stamps here. But there's a good cause with me fleeing abuse in a domestic violence crisis. And then they fixed it last time, as you can see on the documentation, and Health and Human Services wouldn't update the information. Then when I was working, they wouldn't update the information that I was working, and it's still cut off. Then I tried to go up there and report staff misconduct, and the police came to interrupt me. I'm trying to establish a pattern that misconduct and people are deliberately scamming to keep me from benefits at multitude of locations. Gone where?
To the Texas work.
Yeah, I went yesterday, and they said that it was a mishap was on your part, because the last time I didn't get benefits, repeatedly I called and called and called and called and called and called, and you guys would not update the system with what Texas workforce. They did a good cause. Health and Human Services would not update the system. They faxed multiple different times. I could not force Health and Human Services. I already tried to get all kind of. I tried to go above a lot of heads, and it was just not a lot was done.
Hi, how are
Another
you?
party.
Okay, so
Uh,
so you're in a shelter?
yes.
Okay, so there's certain places, if they provide you food, that doesn't always necessarily
I'm
mean-
sorry. Who are you? I don't understand where you came
I'm
from.
a member of management.
Oh.
That's why I came over here to help clear out the issue or the question and concern. So when somebody is in a shelter, if the shelter...
I like to communicate on the multiple different faxes. I was informing her that there's staff misconduct because there was multiple different faxes that I think that we need to attend to that was sent from Texas Workforce to Health and Human Services at one point, and I did not get the benefits in. Okay, so I called and called and called, and that communication, nothing was ever done. So then I had a job at one point. I reported that to Health and Human Services. They would not update the system, period. So the benefits cut off again.
So what do you want us to help you with today?
I'm trying to figure out why Health and Human Services and why people would be dishonest and scam to keep me from benefits for so long.
Well, if you have an issue in regards to that, you are most certainly, those are valid issues on your behalf. You can call 211 and file a complaint.
I did, and nothing was really done. And then I tried to go in person.
Call the ombudsman. And
I
file a
did.
complaint.
I did.
I mean, that's really your
And
only
then I went in
resource.
person, and then the police department came because I wanted to get down to the bottom of why staff would deliberately make false statements and put false information in records. And when would they get accountability? Is that is that a crime to try to deliberately sabotage someone's ability to get benefits in the crisis? Abusing your power to do that?
Diana. Who is that from? I mean, look, I know that you have some concerns, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's a crime, and I'm not going to go back and forth in regards to that. If you have an issue or a concern or a complaint, you need to take that through the correct routes, which is 211 or file a complaint with ombudsman.
I'm just in a lot of different locations. I'm not really concerned about their behavior and their callousness to what I've experienced. You know, a lot of people aren't disturbed at why people abuse their power to keep me from benefits. It just happens all over the place. In fact, online for years, I keep getting locked out of the system, and I had to do a paper application. I kept getting locked out of the system. When I called in, she gave me a new password. That didn't work. They gave me a new password here. That didn't work. And this has happened years. Well, you can see that there's a pattern, a history with me.
Well, again, I mean, I can't say, oh yeah, this is what's going on, and I'm not going to say that. But in regards to what we're going to be able to help you with today, that's what I'm trying to get clarification on. If you are in a shelter, that's what I came to explain.
Yeah,
to you.
I'm going to another location that won't have food, and I'm trying to be prepared.
Well, even if they have food, it depends on the type of organization it is, and that's what I'm going to get the clarification in the federal policy on.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to come to explain to you to let
Oh,
you
okay,
know.
well, good. But it's just weird that in all my environments, I'm watching everybody else with food stamps. And then I'm not quite certain on why staff would make false statements and why they would keep me from.
And I can't.
Well, that's pretty serious. I don't know who to go to because each time I'm doing a report, I can't properly report. It's being interrupted, like when the police came to interrupt me in Ft.Worth. So it's extreme events for Texas Health and Human Services and Health and Human Services and Texas Workforce Commission to scam to keep me from services is serious.
Well, that's certainly not the intention. So if you feel that way, then you need to take the correct recourse routes, and it seems like you have already done.
Right, I'm just not being heard.
It's out of our hands. So did you message her?
Yes.
On what you say?
She hasn't done yet.
Okay, so just give me a few minutes. I'm going to get that policy. Where are you staying at right now?
Well, I'm glad that was resolved because at a lot of different locations, like I said, people around me qualified, but for some reason I have been excluded for years.
Yes, ma'am. meals.
Right, but I've been at shelters where you could get benefits and still were robbed of that ability to get food stamps in my crisis.
Right.
That's what I've been trying to communicate, and I'm not quite certain on why the police department deemed it that serious to come out and slander me and threaten me and intimidate me for trying to get food stamps. But I've experienced stranger in this domestic abuse crisis. So in a lot of experiences, my hands have just really been tied because a lot of places we're not getting down to the bottom of the misconduct and what is sparking it. Like, for example, the police keeps coming to interrupt me exposing things. It's just really bizarre.
Yeah.
So I thought, people went to jail for stealing food stamps, and I had,
They do.
well, no one's been done about why it was misconduct to keep me from mine. It was almost $1,000, and I was in a crisis.
They have to investigate.
They wouldn't. And then I tried to demand them do something because I thought that this powerful man that I'm fleeing from was behind it. And the police department came and threatened my arrest and then was slandered a case on me several months down the road. There was no case, and the same officer put a case on me, and I had to start exposing my experiences because they're not realistic. Why would a police officer put a case on me for trying to get food stamps and reporting that they were stolen? Almost $1,000. And why would Health and Human Services cover for that? And then scam to keep me from services all these years, benefits. So how long is a good cause good for?
I can ask. I really.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think.
Well, I'll be leaving pretty soon, so
Are you moving?
that's another mysterious thing that I can't get resolved. I've made this man has been slandering me and committed some crimes to keep me away from my daughter and my son. And I've made like 30 something reports to CPS, and none of them are on my none of them was given an update for. They're all missing.
I think you gotta take up the police report on that one.
Well, I'm not quite certain why CPS would not, if I've done 30 reports, why are my reports missing, even when my daughter had bruises? And then Health and Human Services, it's just things aren't adding up. So after 2 years, after I've been requesting documentation, 2 years later, and I'm reporting child abuse, how in the world 2 years later you won't give me my records, and then finally 2 years later you give me the records, and it has none of my reports of corruption? So I don't know. Typically, when I'm trying to get something done with CPS, the police department comes.
Right.
So I don't know what to do regarding that. There's fear. And they don't come to assist me. They come to interrupt me reporting. Can you see how long the good cause is since I've had so many glitches?
Yeah,
I just
so
wanted
she
to.
said it depends.
Okay, I'd like to know.
If you recommend it, it don't mean that you are going to get accepted.
More
Yeah,
no definitives. No, if it's serious, if it's in that pretty serious, if the police is trying to interrupt me getting food stamps,
yeah, it depends. That's
I'm
what
not
she
quite
said.
certain of why everybody else can have the good cause and why I would repeatedly be excluded. It's just really not adding up. If the police, I don't know if I haven't seen any other woman or the police department that's came and enlisted conspirators and scamming to keep someone from food stamps. So that means that crisis is pretty serious if people are doing that, risking their livelihood and charges to keep that party from food stamps.
Right.
Falsifying information and records repeatedly over and over. I'm not, it's just, yeah, I'd like to know why now it changed again. First, I'm at that location I was eligible, and now it has changed to now they may or may not do the good cause. Okay, but how long is it for?
She told me.
Okay, that's what I want to know, because you can see that there's a lot of corruption regarding me and my benefits.
Right, but
So I would like to know. I was told at first it was for 6 months, and things switch up and change from staff misconduct. So I wanted answers.
Yes, it can.
But mine changed because staff misconduct. So I wanted to make sure that I interrupt the pattern of misconduct with staff and have the answer. That way, if they try to change and retract on services like they've done years, then I have a game plan on how to combat misconduct from staff. So I want to know how long the good cause is going to be for. Because like I said, in Fort Worth, they kept faxing the good cause to Health and Human Services and they wouldn't honor it. Then another time I had a job and I told them I had a job and they would not update the system, period.
Right.
And then I called and called and called, went through, escalated it, went through the channels, and it was just ignored. Then I tried to go to locations and demand, I wasn't rude, but I demanded because I kept repeatedly getting ignored years in a crisis situation.
Right.
So the police department came because they're enlisting civilians to take the fall for crimes they set up. So they came to help their conspirators and not get accountability and told me to leave. Because they were blatantly lying in paperwork, and I thought, like someone said, I thought that was fraud. To lie and say that I'm not doing the proper protocol when you haven't given me the opportunity to do it. One time they canceled me in my application process, and I had to try to expose it and build a paper trail of what was happening. I'm like, if I'm doing the application, how can you deny me for not doing the job search? It was impossible. You got to forgive me for my frustration, but this is just from, like I said, here, CPS, multiple different environments, the same thing. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry, what were you trying to get
I'm
settled?
trying to get your case settled.
Oh, okay, settled? I'm not quite certain what you mean.
Fixed.
Oh, okay. From what I gathered, I thought it was already resolved. She said that you guys were gonna do the just cause in that location. I was eligible for benefits by staying there. Why is my situation so complicated?
Because you're not working.
No, I don't really think that I'm being heard. 'Cause I was working, and I told them I had to, when I got the job, Health and Human Services would not update the system with my job, and I could not get benefits. They canceled me in my application process in Fort Worth, which was impossible for me to. I could not do the job search if they did not even tell me I had benefits, and they didn't tell me to do the job search. I had to expose that for them to finally give me food stamps. They gave me food stamps, and Texas Workforce kept doing the just cause because I was fleeing abuse. Health and Human Services would never update their system.
Okay, let me see. Go ahead and get up. Let me see.
Then after that, so I've been trapped in problems. Mm-hmm. So you said that you're trying to work on it. Why is it so difficult for my case? Oh, you don't know? Okay.
Where's this? Was all the paper she gave me?
This has never been explained to you now, but I want to make sure that you understand, and I kind of want to. I like to educate everybody in regards to where they stand when we're processing these cases, because I know that you have some concerns. So for like what she was saying, that there are some people who get approved.
Yeah, everyone there is getting benefits, whether children or not. Well, I'm worried about it because there's been a lot of misconduct with keeping me from benefits.
Okay, well, I'm just going to explain this to you, and then again, if you have those concerns, you can report it upwards, okay?
Okay.
That's above my pay grade. So when it comes to somebody such as yourself without dependent children on the case with you, you can't record me.
I'm not. I'm looking at the time.
Okay, go ahead and put the phone down, or I'm going to go ahead and just walk you out.
Oh, okay. No, I'll put the
Let's
phone.
go ahead and do that.
Walking. What are you talking about?
I'm going to go ahead and walk you out. There's no recording in here, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you out, and I'll get you the notice, I guess. So go ahead and get your stuff, and let's go.
I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. I just repeated pattern for you.
To you, so come on, let's go.
So you deny me the food stamp benefits that I came here for?
I'll explain it to you when we come out here.
What's your name?
Mrs. McKenna.
Okay. And I don't know why you would be rude, and you know that I'm experienced.
I saw what you were doing.
Oh, let me get my up. Yeah, because each location, they're scamming any way they can to keep me from getting benefits at multiple different locations. And I don't.
I'll be right out with you.
And that's pretty serious. I think we need to call the police, ma'am. Can you guys call the police so I can see why they repeatedly keep denying me food stamps? I'm in a crisis from a serious domestic abuse crisis, and they keep on denying me food stamps and corruption. And I think we need to do a police report on why they keep doing this.
I have no idea.
I think we need to call the police out and hold people accountable that are abusing their power to keep me from benefits. I think someone is influencing these people to commit crimes. I'm not quite certain on if I need to call the police because crimes have been committed years to keep me from food stamps. And they are scamming any way they could in the back to keep me from food stamps, like what I've had to endure years, which is what I expressed to them. Everyone has a right to get food stamps, and I believe my abuser is influencing a lot of locations to conspire with his abuse and crimes. Because like I told them prior, the police department came to another location, and there's been scams years to keep me from getting benefits in my crisis. So I'm not quite certain of that lady's name. She accused me of recording, but they kept playing games with my food stamps, and that's been a pattern. I expressed to them I had a job, and I reported to Health and Human Services when I got my job. I got it. The Health and Human Services would not update the system, and it caused my food stamps to stop. Another time, they canceled me in my application process.
Well,
They denied me, and which is impossible. If I'm applying, then how are you going to deny me? They said that I wasn't working with Texas Workforce in Fort Worth.
So the correct way to handle the situation would be to call 211. And
I've done that,
then,
but I'm really concerned about the misconduct here. I'm really concerned that I've been trapped off in this abuse, and we may need to call the police and see why this repeatedly keeps happening.
okay, so, yeah, we've already talked about it, so go ahead and have a seat. I've already explained to you how you can let.
But I'm just not quite certain because I told you there's a track record of misconduct, and I wanted to
Right,
get,
and there's
I
nothing
think
we can
people
do
are
about
being
that here in the
influenced.
office.
Well,
You
the
need to
problem of
call
it is
211
that,
or
like
file
I
a complaint
expressed
with
to
the
you,
ombudsman.
multiple different parties in that environment with kids or not are getting
Okay,
benefits,
look,
and I'm
I've
repeatedly
already
excluded
explained
from
this to you,
benefits.
so go ahead and have a seat. I'm gonna get your paperwork for you, and then we're gonna go over that really quickly.
So I can't get benefits?
No, not today,
When?
when you start working.
Okay,
That's what
so
I
the
was trying
good
to explain
cause,
to you in the back.
the good cause that
That-
other women get, I can't use the good cause?
That good cause is for TANF or adult Medicaid. And the only people that are eligible for those programs are people with minor children on the case, which you don't have.
Oh, because okay, so all I know is there's been a lot of misconduct, and I wanted to
Again,
expose
you can
the
level that up
misconduct,
through
because when I
211
did
and
have a
file
job, they
complaint.
used that as an alibi on why I wasn't getting benefits, and then when I had a job, they would not update the system with my job, so they still got cut
Again,
off.
you're gonna have to level that up. I mean, there's nothing, that's when in regards to like a
I
complaint.
can't level it up, ma'am, the feds need to level it up. I've
Okay,
tried to,
all right. Well, go
but.
ahead and have a seat, and then I'm gonna get your paperwork
Yeah, because
for
I've
you.
tried. I went to a bondsman and all, and like when they stole $1,000 in the conspiracy, there was
Okay,
nothing I
okay.
can do.
We're not gonna get into conspiracies and stuff like that.
I
So
think that you would need to. What's your position?
I'm a member of management, and this is a supervisor.
Okay, so I'm telling you that there's misconduct in my case and you don't want to get in there?
The way that you report
You have
that,
to report it.
right.
So that it can be.
I did
looked
report
into.
it.
So you're gonna have to report it again.
Okay,
There's nothing we
so
can do at this time.
I'm not quite certain on why she wouldn't want to get into why staff stole almost $1,000 from me and then trapped
Because
me in
that's
it.
not our area.
Right.
But I thought that
That's
you
not,
had to give me
there's a certain
direction
part of
on
the
how
agency
to
that handles those
rectify
types
it.
of issues. It's our OIG department, which they do investigations. We don't do that.
But I
That's why
mean, I
we're saying
can't
you
get
need to
direction if
level
I
that
can't
up.
communicate
Go
it.
get her paperwork.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not able to communicate my abuse to the police department, domestic violence locations, and all over the place, I'm trapped in it like I've been. I'm trying to establish a paper trail that I think people are being influenced.
Yeah.
I
and-
think that when someone is prearranging in my environments for me to repeatedly get denied assistance that everybody else can get, and that's what I'm deliberately trying to expose,
And
misconduct.
then if you want to expose that, you would need to call 211 and let them know that you're
I
trying to
have.
expose that.
Yeah.
So you'll need to do it again. If you would have a seat over there,
Okay.
she'll be right with you.
Okay, thank you. And you know what? In fact, there's multiple people that are getting benefits that don't have children around me. So that's not true. I just don't understand why people would lie to me openly and never think that they'll never see consequences. on what I need to do because I reported like child abuse like 30 times to CPS, and they are not putting it in my files, the updates with the reports.
You put it in, you've reported it when?
Oh, multiple different times throughout the years. I have caseworkers' names, and they didn't put any of my reports in the records. Like my daughter reported that she hit someone, so I was panicking because she's with another party that blatantly lied on me to keep me away from my child, which I know that that's a felony. But CPS and the courts and a army full of other parties are ignoring it and leaving me trapped, me and my child trapped in it and won't do anything. But what I'm wondering what I need to do, because there was false statements to keep me away from my child, and I made.
Who's keeping you away from them?
The CPS has done things that misconduct with CPS. Like I've done, can I write down my information and then you see what's going on with it?
No, do you
Do you
have a
know?
case?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
No, I'm asking you, do you have a case right now?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you because I've done reports. I'd like to write it down and see if you could tell me, direct me on what I need to do because I've reported child abuse multiple different times and it appears to be keep repeatedly getting ignored.
Yes, well, yes.
Is it child abuse towards your child?
Right. First off, there were false statements to keep me away from my child. And there was misconduct with the courts and CPS not following protocol in the family code. So in Dallas, I was blacklisted from locations and the police department would come out and remove me to conceal crimes that were committed to keep me away from my child. So I repeatedly make these reports that are getting ignored, like with the Health and Human Services, and I'm trying to purposely establish a pattern. I think people are being influenced. And it's misconduct in multiple different environments, and I'm trying to show that conspiracy. I tried to inform her about it, and she said she wasn't going to talk about it. I thought that was her responsibility. She didn't have a choice.
No, that's her, they do food stamps over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the corruption with the food stamps and schemes to keep me from food stamps. She's saying that only people with children could have a just cause. That's not true.
What is your first name?
With children on their case. It's Kiana. So what do I do? Why would they close cases? Is that a crime if I'm reporting child abuse?
No.
If I thought it was mandatory reporting, and if I'm reportedly reporting child abuse to CPS workers.
There's a difference in there's different way of child abuse. If you're not abusing your child and you're protecting your child, then we don't have any data.
If I'm reporting that my daughter said that she hit someone in the police department, that someone hit her. If I'm reporting that someone in her.
That's not that type of child abuse.
Okay, so I reported that someone hit my child in her environment.
And who hit her?
She wasn't able. She told me that someone hit her, and then the other party stopped communication. So I reported it to child abuse. The child abuse to CPS and the police department, and neither one of them would investigate it.
Okay, because that's not the type of child abuse that we investigate.
So if a child was hit and out of abuse, CPS doesn't investigate that?
Is it the parent?
Yes.
Okay, well, if it was the parent that did that, yes, they would go in and check on that. But does that child live with you?
No, I reported it. After that situation, they discontinued communication.
Oh,
She's endured a lot of psychological abuse, so I was able to see her briefly, and she had I'm just trying to.
That parent?
Right, and I was able to see her briefly, and she had a meltdown. So I reported that this is psychological abuse. The stepmother said that she was going to give her away to CPS because she had a meltdown showing the pain and suffering that she's went through with these false allegations to keep me from seeing her. So they put me on supervised visits and corruption, and I can't get the supervised visits. I've tried, so I called the police on the location. But what I'm concerned about is why CPS I'm doing all these reports, and why they would close reports and nothing be open 30-something times, and then I'm having issues with the food stamps. It's like people are being influenced.
Okay, but if we went in and did an investigation and the child did not make an outcry to us, then we would shut the case down.
Okay, do they let me know? Do they send me paperwork that it was investigated?
Probably should have gotten a closed letter.
There's nothing in the file. I never got a closed letter 30-something times reporting false statements from
there's not
CPS
30
and teachers.
cases in here.
That's the problem. Where are they at?
I have no idea, ma'am. That, when you call child abuse hotline, that's where it comes into.
Well, I just think that there's misconduct, because if I reported 30-something times and 30-something times it was lost, and in Dallas, the police department came and escorted me out in corruption, then in Arlington, I was arrested at CPS. It seems like there's a lot of criminal activity and misconduct with government officials that they need to be held accountable for.
Okay.
And I'm
then
trying to
you need-
interrupt the
then you-
misconduct.
Then you need to call to Austin and make that complaint.
I did. And is there a location I need to go? It seems like above his. In that criminal, for if I'm
I
reporting?
have no idea, ma'am. That's up to Austin. You would
Oh,
have
this
to-
is child abuse. Just one moment.
You would have to speak with them at the office in the Austin area.
Okay,
Because
can you give me
that's
that?
the main-
I
that's
went
our
to
main
Austin.
place.
What location? I've actually went to Austin.
I have no idea what their address is up there, where the main office is. Let me see.
So it's just that I've been trapped in chaos. If I'm doing 30-something reports and the police department is coming and their people are telling me to handle everything over the phone and it's not working. My daughter witnessed my foster arrest screaming in terror and was taken it from me at age 8, and she's about to be 16. These are priceless years I can't get back. So I'm just trying to devise a
Yeah, and
remedy.
I'm not, since I don't know what happened back then, or
Well,
since
I
don't
did
have a
report
case-
the child that she got hit, and I did report that the police department as well as CPS covered for it. And I asked you if that was criminal to not do their mandatory reporting.
No, you have to report it, but I'm not sure why the case was shut down.
I think it's corruption. I think people are being influenced and have yet to get accountability. So the same pattern just presents itself because no one's being held accountable. If people are taking bribes and doing it's misconduct to keep me from benefits and keep me in problems that someone paid to create, then they need accountability for it before it stops.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the child doesn't make it
There's no
out,
address on here?
I don't know what the address is. I don't have it. That's just the Austin. You can call them and ask them where they're located exactly.
Okay.
Because I don't have it up here. I'm not sure
Okay,
exactly
well,
what.
ma'am, we'll see how long this will go on until something's done.
Okay, I have your paperwork. So these are the numbers that we're talking about. It lists right here the numbers where you can call and file complaints if you would like. And then this is also the number if you want to file an appeal about your case. Okay?
Oh, well, you said that you were gonna
This
give
is
me the
the
code on
information.
that you can't get a just cause if you have children, without children? That's what I was waiting on.
I
That-
never said anything about giving you a code.
Oh, well, how do I know you guys aren't being dishonest like they've been in the past? You're not giving me any paperwork to back up what you're
Because you can
saying.
call,
I
this-
want it from you guys.
this
You're the
number.
one that's denying it.
ma'am, we don't have that information. You can call and file an appeal and they will help
So
you.
you had me wait all this time to not give me any validation on what you're saying.
This is validation telling you that you don't qualify for the benefits.
But you're not giving me reasoning why I don't qualify like the other women. There's men that's been given
She did
benefits.
explain to you why you're not qualified.
You didn't put it in
I'm
writing?
not gonna go back and forth with you. That's
I
not
don't know why
what we
people,
do.
that's a red flag.
So
I'm
if
asking,
on
I
here,
wanted to extend my
it's
right
explaining
to.
to you, and she has already explained it to you as well. This is where you can call to file an appeal.
I want the
and complaints.
documentation.
This page has
That's
the
not what
numbers.
I was seeking information on why
Ma'am,
you're denying
so
my case.
here's what I'm gonna say to you. If you do not remove yourself from the premises, I will call the cops to get
I was
you
calling the
removed
police
from
on
from
you.
the premises.
So you're denying me
So are
explanation?
you not gonna leave? Because
just-
I'm gonna call.
Okay, so you're.
Okay, I will be calling.
So because I want an explanation on why you're denying me
We've
benefits, you're calling the
already
police?
given you
I think
explanations.
that's where's it at?
Okay,
I want it in writing.
okay.
I think the police are behind this. I have to wait on a ride.
They're not behind you.
They are behind it because they kept coming to interrupt it. If you won't give me like everybody, I'm waiting on a ride. And if the police repeatedly have to be, if you know that there's corruption, why am I being mistreated and you're threatening the police for me wanting validation on why you're denying benefits?
Have you called your ride?
I just wanted to know why you're denying me the right like other people get on why you're denying benefits and why you're threatening the police because I want that. You had me wait a considerable amount of time and these paperwork, it never shows why you're denying benefits. And I've already established a pattern of corruption. And then each location, they're demanding that I get put out or the police will be called even at hospitals and when I can't get medical treatment.